We have 100 trillion bacteria in our gut. Why is it that we've cultivated a population inside of us that outnumbers us 100 trillion to 1? Hey honeys, it's Emmy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmy. I am a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where my clients lose anywhere from the last 5 pounds to up to 70 pounds. So if you are interested in a free training that I am holding for the start of the new year, the 6 steps to simplify plant-based weight loss, I'm going to be holding that this Sunday and Monday. So make sure you click the link in the down bar so that you can get 2020 off to an amazing foot, because it's the Roaring 20s honey. And as always, make sure that you hit subscribe and turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified every Wednesday and Saturday when I put up a new video with the hottest stuff about plant-based weight loss. In this video, I'm going to be going over the top health trends that we should probably leave in 2019. Now, if you're new to this channel and you're new to me, something that you have to know about my approach is that I'm not your gal for the quick fixes, the fad diets, the crash dieting, the yo-yo dieting. Not my cup of tea, and that's the tea. And I'm also not the type of person that's going to say that something is bad for you and then just be like, all right, see you next video. I want to give you guidance so that you can have your weight loss journey be something sustainable that you can hold out for the long term, so that you can truly make long-lasting changes and turn yourself into the happiest and healthiest version of yourself. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the top 5 health trends that we saw in 2019. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, what they're really trying to accomplish, and how we truly can accomplish those things in the long term, as opposed to looking to the quick fix, which was the health trend, and having it work for a short period of time, but then just ditching it. Before we get started, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment right now of a health trend that you saw in 2019. When I hear 2019 health trend, the first thing that I think of is celery juice and the fact that celery was nowhere to be found. Just what I think of. What do you think of? If it's celery juice, then say celery juice. But I want to know, what 2019 trend do you remember? First up is the obsession with the gut, the probiotics, the prebiotics, the microbiome. The good is that people recognized how truly important gut health is. As Dr. Frank Sabatino says, we have 100 trillion bacteria in our gut. Why is it that we've cultivated a population inside of us that outnumbers us 100 trillion to 1? Clearly, this must be unbelievably important. And as we've learned, our gut health affects things like our heart health, our brain health, our mood. My earring just fell out. It even affects that. So our gut health really truly is so important. But what I didn't love about this trend is that it really fixated on taking things like prebiotics and probiotics and didn't have people focus on the diet as much. And we really were relying on a pill as a quick fix, as opposed to looking at the overall driver of our gut, which is the food that we eat. Because we have, as we said, over 100 trillion bacteria living in our stomach. And that bacteria eats what we eat. So we either feed the good bacteria that keeps our gut microbiome varied, diverse, and healthy, or we feed the bad bacteria, which makes us everything except for that. And the way that we feed the bad bacteria is through a standard American diet. And when we do that, our gut becomes very inefficient and we can have leaky gut happen. And when leaky gut happens, all of the toxins that are in our gut can leak into the rest of our body and go to our brain, which is no bueno. So what we want to do instead is, instead of relying on prebiotics, probiotics, kombucha, that sort of stuff, this is a joke. Should I just take my earrings out? They're out. You would have thought I had clip-ons in. Nope, not clip-ons. I just couldn't find an earring back and I thought they would balance. When we eat a whole foods plant-based diet, we feed that good bacteria and we increase the diversity within our gut. So we don't have to rely on a potion, a magic pill or anything like that. What we have to do instead is develop a whole foods plant-based diet. And if you're not sure where to begin with that, then get my grocery list in the down bar. It's totally free and it's outlined by sections of the grocery store so that you can just walk around and check off your way to a good gut. And you know, my client Sarah is proof of this as well. She said that before she started Slim on Starch, it was a roll of the dice every time that she ate because her stomach was just so out of whack. But when she changed her diet, she hasn't had any flare-ups. She's lost over 70 pounds, but the best part is that she feels amazing and that her gut health is super healthy too, which affects her heart health, her brain health, her mood, everything in a positive manner. Trend number 2, let's talk about the celery juice obsession. So I actually looked up what are the top 10 benefits of celery juice, and this is what I found. Activates the gut, lowers cholesterol, anti-inflammatory, lowers blood pressure, aids the liver, improves digestion, fights infection, contains powerful antioxidants, it's alkalizing, and it's nutritious. Honeys, it's a vegetable. Of course it's healthy. Something Dr. Frank Sabatino also says is, how have we gotten so far from health that we need studies to tell us that fruits and vegetables are healthy? Celery juice isn't magic, it's a vegetable. Vegetables are healthy. They have antioxidants, they're anti-inflammatory, they're filled with vitamins and nutrients. So of course, celery juice is going to be something that is nutritious for us, but it's not a magic potion. Now, what I love about the celery juice craze is that people were replacing it with their morning coffees, which were filled with milk and cream and sugar, and also it encouraged a healthier lifestyle overall. When you start your day off with the celery juice, you're probably more encouraged to eat healthy throughout the day and to maybe go to the gym and just overall be a healthier person. But the celery juice itself is not the magic pill or potion. I do know that some people have had tremendous results with it, and if that is the case, I know that my friend Audra had amazing results and it helped her skin, and so she was doing great with it, so keep on doing it. But don't just rely on that one thing, and understand that having an overall healthy lifestyle is so important, which is something that Audra does have. You know, she's not staying up till 4 a.m. eating cheeseburgers and then having a celery juice in the morning. She's eating a whole foods plant-based diet, de-stressing, sleeping well, which aids in all of the benefits that we get from drinking celery juice. Trend number 3 that we saw is CBD oil, and it is used for anti-anxiety purposes. Now, the good is that people are de-stressing and they're looking to methods to help them de-stress. What I don't like about CBD oil is that it is mood altering. It is a mood altering substance, which does skeeve me out a little bit. And it's an oil. If we're being completely honest, it is a pure oil. And I know you're not taking much of it, but day after day after day, it is just putting a pure oil in. There also haven't been enough studies. This hasn't been around long enough, and people haven't been using it in controlled laboratory settings long enough for us to know what the true effects of it are. And because of that, it does make me wary of it. It's not something that I use or I ever plan on using, just because it is a mood altering, mind altering substance. And like I said, that just skeeves me out a little bit. And I think that the best way to calm your brain and to stabilize your brain is by getting off the processed foods, getting off the sugar, getting off the things that send you on this roller coaster, this mood roller coaster, and developing a diet, a whole foods plant-based diet that gives you that mood stability, that gives you that calm and stable brain, because you're not riding that sugar roller coaster all day. Did you know that the leading determinant of whether an individual will end up in jail later on in life is how much candy they consume as a child? It doesn't have to do with divorced parents or trauma, anything along those lines. It's about how much candy they consume as a child. That's wild. It's insane how much processed foods, processed sugar has on our mood and our outlook on life. And so I think we really have to pull back here and once again, not really rely on one substance, but instead look at our lifestyle overall and perhaps engage in some anti-anxiety activities that aren't related to substance and aren't related to food, and do things like meditation and exercise and hanging out with others, talking about how you're feeling so that you can de-stress in that manner and not rely on a substance. Trend number 4 is the anti-diet intuitive eating movement. I have a thing or two to say about intuitive eating. I have a whole video on intuitive eating and I'll actually link that below. But my thoughts on intuitive eating are not with the mainstream. There is a lot of belief that the best way to prevent binging on cookies is to allow yourself to have as many cookies as you want whenever you want, and then you won't eat too many of them. And I find that this doesn't work for the majority of people, because the more calories something has, the more sugar, the more fat, the more of a dopamine hit that we get from it. Now, dopamine is the motivation chemical. It's what encourages us to do things. So when we eat something that's very high in calories, we get that dopamine hit, which is going to motivate us and encourage us to eat more of the food that gave us the dopamine hit. So eating just one Oreo cookie is really freaking hard. And so what happens is that people don't just eat one Oreo cookie, they inevitably eat a ton, and then they feel really bad about themselves and say, why can't I intuitively eat? And for that reason, I'm not a huge advocate of intuitive eating when it involves things like junk food. I promote intuitive eating when you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet. When you're eating the diet that's intended for humans, when you're eating a natural diet, you can act natural and normal around food. But around the highly processed foods, it's very difficult to do, and it ends up being that people try to do it and then they engage in self-hatred, self-sabotage, what's wrong with me kind of thinking and behavior, and it's a really dark place to be, and I don't want people to be there. I want people to be empowered and feel in tune with their body, in touch with their body, and be able to just eat food and move on. And the way that you do that is by developing a whole foods plant-based diet, a natural diet that was intended for humans, so that you can act natural and be normal around food. What I do agree with about this movement is the fact that it moves away from crash dieting, yo-yo dieting, and counting calories, which is something that I promote. I promote not doing those things, to be clear. You know, my client Liv, for example, I said, Liv, when you stop counting calories, you're gonna lose some weight. And then she sent me this message saying exactly that. So I do agree with that philosophy of not counting calories, not crash dieting, not yo-yo dieting. But like I said, there are flaws with the philosophy. And then the last trend that we saw, trend number 5, was the obsession with meditation. Now, I think meditation is fabulous, and I can't sit here and lie and say that I'm a fabulous meditator, because I'm not. And this ties into the part of meditation that I don't love, and it's not anything that's inherently bad about meditation, it's just where we are in today's society, that meditation still seems a little woo-woo, it seems elusive, people don't really understand it, trying to do it just seems very difficult, and that's a trap that I've fallen into. And so I'm really trying to get into it and understand that it doesn't have to be you sitting there cross-legged saying Om, and that it can look different for everybody. But something valuable that I've learned about meditation is that thinking about the future makes us anxious. So during meditation, your goal is to not think about the future and just think about right here, right now. And so this is something that I've tried to do at the end of the night when I'm stretching or when I'm using the stick. You guys know the stick on my muscles, and I'm working out my muscles, to really just be present in the moment, get all of that tension out of my muscles, relax, and just focus on the present moment. And I'm trying to do it right now, actually. And so I think that that's fabulous. And I really do think that meditation is something that we should continue to be interested in 2020. And I think part of the movement should be to normalize it and to maybe even think of another word for it so that people can become warmed up to it. You know, it's like how I use the word plant-based and not vegan. Even though I am vegan, I find that vegan can scare people. And a lot of vegans will say, no, you need to be, that doesn't show solidarity. Use the word vegan, be proud. But I'm just trying to help as many people as I can. And I think we should kind of do the same thing with meditation and not make it this woo-woo out there sort of thing that nobody really knows what's going on with it. That's it. Make sure that you share this video with somebody that might enjoy it, that is heading into 2020. Maybe they gave into those health fads in 2019 and we want to get them off to a great start. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Woo!